Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are here to learn about our creation story that was written by the Israelites. We have already spoken about the first language that was spoken, and the man who spoke that first language, the name, we have already talked about it. Now we are going forward to talk about the word Hebrew, how this word Hebrew appeared, and who are the Hebrews. The first word was a man's name, and the man was called Abram. This man who was called Abram, according to history, was a king in a place called Abram. According to history, this man ruled for about 28 years. And this man happens to be an ancestor of the man you people call Abraham. Even though he was never called Abraham. Later on, I'll give the name. So it was through this man's descendants that they used the name Abram as a tribal name. So it became the descendants of Nana Abram, of which that man we call Abraham is part of it. And in fact, the Abuse language he spoke is the language that it is written as Aramaic. There is difference between Arabic and Aramaic. Aramaic language originally is called Okre. Because somebody will ask, where did you get this information? I've first spoken about how I got all this information through dreams. And therefore, I was told that the man you people call Abraham was never called Abraham. The real name of the man, according to what I was told in the dream, was Abram. And the Abram, even Yahweh, that is Y-A-W, is added to it. So he was called Abram. And his son was also not called Isaac. He was also called AC. Then the grandchild that we all call Jacob was also called Kwame. So coincidentally, these people were all Thursday born. So that is how the descendants of these people were named after the day Thursday, in which in Hebrew we call Yahudah, that they say Judah. So the name Judah originally is Yahudah. So they say Yahudah people. This man called Abram, I can even prove it, because there was a document when the nation of Israel went into the exile in Babylon. According to history, it was recorded that before the Israelites went to exile in Babylon, there was no name called Yah. But when the Yahudah people got there, they started seeing names called Yah. And it is even recorded that Yah is a biblical influential name. I can prove to you in the Israel's exile and the Busharu archives of Nimpo. If you check there, you can find it, and we are showing it on the screen for you to see the clay tablets. So he said biblical influential name. Then he wrote there that Yah, before the Israelites exiled into Babylon, there was no name called Yah. So when the Israelites went into exile there, they found the name Yah. And they saw that Yah is biblical influential name. This is clear here. So if it is biblical influential name, we don't have Yah in the Bible. So why? Why is it that the whites know this, that Yah is biblical influential name, But Yahweh does not appear in the Bible. So what I was told in the dream confirms that something is wrong somewhere. Then it means what I was told in the dream that the man is originally called Abram is correct. Because somebody has confirmed this. And it's nobody but a white man has confirmed this. And he knows that his brothers did not put Yah in their Bible. But he comes out to tell me that Yah is biblical influential, of which we can still find Yah there. So something is wrong somewhere. And then the Yahweh, which was supposed to be what we call Jacob, was before called Jacob. I know many of you have heard this name before. Jacob. It was Yahweh, then they pronounce it Jacob. So Jacob later changed because they saw that Jacob is very close to the original name Yahweh. So they have to change it and say it is God who changed the name and brought it to Jacob, of which none of us can trace in any tribe under the sun where they have an ancestral name called Jacob. It can never be traced. But I'm telling you the fact that he was never called Jacob. He was called Yahweh, of which in the beginning they started calling Jacob. Then they saw that Jacob is very close to Yahweh, so they will modify it to Jacob, of which you can't trace. Then this man, according to Genesis chapter 32, there is a story there that this Yahweh at one night fought with an angel. And they said the angel beat Yahweh very well to the extent that he touched the socket of his hip. And then later on, Yahweh said, "You should bless me," of which is very wrong. You see, he was a human being like us. And all of a sudden, sleeping, somebody comes to attack him. I don't think it's intelligent to say, "You should bless you." If the person will bless you, the person will not fight you to the extent of breaking your socket of your waist. You see, so that story is not the truth. But what actually happened, that the person who came to fight with him couldn't overpower him. And he said, "You have surpassed death because you should have died, but you still live." So in the Hebrew language, he said to him, "Wasari owo." That is the original Hebrew word he spoke. And I'm going to prove it. Wasari owo. So they named him, the next name he got was not Israel. It was Asari, of which it became the nickname of Asari became Media because he fought with somebody that night. So it became Asari Media. That is where we got it. So when you check from the Bible, the verse 30 of that 32 chapter, you will see a word there called Peniel. It is P-E-N-E-I-L. They deliberately put the L there. But the original word is Peniel. It's not Peniel. You can check it properly. You see? So, this Peniel is another Hebrew word. And what is the meaning of Peniel? Peniel means somebody who has been suffocated. So, in the Hebrew language, you will say, Messi Apeniel. That means he was suffocated that night by that person. So he named the place Peniel. It is not Peniel. You can check from your dictionaries and see that that word is different from Peniel. So that word is a Hebrew word, Peniel. They deliberately put that L attached to it. Okay, another name that came that people are now struggling with it is in Genesis chapter 35. When you read from 17, this name, I got it in a dream. I got it from the dream. Because when I saw in the Esther chapter 2 verse 7 that Esther's Hebrew name was Anasa, I checked through the history and I found out to know that Joseph, Jacob, and Daniel and others, they all have Hebrew names that have been changed. So all these names, Joseph, Jacob, Daniel, Benjamin, all are Gentile names. So I said to myself, now that I've seen that I am original Hebrew man, I'm no more a Gentile, so I don't like to use, I will never use a Gentile name, which is Benjamin. Then, in that night, he came again and told me, the one who has been teaching me in the dream, he came again and said to me, Benjamin is your real name, is your language. So go and read Genesis chapter 35 from 17, verse 17 only, and check how that name came about. And you find out that it is your real language. So when I read the portion of that Bible, I saw that according to the story, a lady was about to give birth and had great difficulty. And as she was having great difficulty in childbirth, she was about to die. So the lady named the child that she has bare. He said, you can see from the Bible that it is written Ben, Oni. And he told me, Oni is your language. Oni means mother. Because in our language, we have Oni and Osi. When we say Osi, Osi means father, your father. Oni means mother, your mother. So the original language that the woman spoke, part of it was taken away. And then they patched there with pen. And he told me directly that what was taken away was Anto. Because the woman said the child did not meet her mother. So in the Hebrew language, Anto means you did not meet. So he said Anto Oni. And that is what the white man said, Saint Anthony. If anybody doubts me, you should go and ask them, where did they get that name, Saint Anthony? That Saint Anthony is not in the Bible. So that is where they got the name. But they omitted the Anto simply because if the Anto comes in, you will directly know where the language comes from. And then the father said, I will not call my son Anto. Because if you don't have the mother, you will have me, the father. So he said, in his Hebrew language, so he said, Ubenyami. So the word originally is Benjamin, you have me. So it's not Benjamin, it's Benjamin. That is Benyamin, Benjamin. That is the original word, which means Ubenyami, you have me. So this proves clearly that we now know what language was called the Hebrew language. And therefore, we can all assess whatever we have been told and check to know whether it is true or false. So from this point, we now know that we know where the Hebrew language is being spoken. We know where the first language is being spoken. Then I'm going to mention the tribes that forms this nation Israel. The Akan tribe, the Ewe tribe, the Gad tribe. The Gads are the one that the white man has put in D and he say Gad. They always want to use a letter to code something so that you can't get the correct way. Then we have the Mosi. That is the man you people call Moses. He was according to what I learned from the dream, he told me that man was born on Wednesday. So his people, or the Hebrew people, were calling him Mosi. So the people of the Hebrews who were with him were calling him Mosi because he was born on Wednesday. So this man Mosi, his descendants are the people who have used the man's name as a tribal name. They are Bosi people now residing at Burkina Faso. So they are part of the nation of Israel. Then we have some in the Mali. They are also part of the nation of Israel. Then we have two in Nigeria, who are the Amos and the Edos. The Edo man was also a seer in Israel, just like the man who people call Samuel. The Samuel's original name he was called Samuel. It comes from the Gans. He was a guy who was trained by the elder man called Eli. And we all know that Eli, the name Eli originally can be found among our brothers who are the Levites. That is the first language that was spoken, the Ewes. We call them Ewes, but they call themselves Bebeto. You see, so these are the original that has been hidden from us. And even I was told that the man you people call Elijah was originally got that name by performing that act of calling the Yahweh. The one that you people don't understand. Yahweh. It's called Yahweh. That is what he called the tenderboard to strike the offering and it caught fire. That is where people hailed him and said, truly your God is alive. And the language they use is that Mau Eli. You see, in short we call Mauli. That is God is there. So this Mauli is what the enemy turned it upside down by bringing the Eli first and using Jah. J-A-H, Jah, which is God. So in actual fact, it is the same Mau Eli, but which has been turned upside down. Instead of the Eli come last, they brought the Eli first. It's part of coding so that you people cannot know where the name comes from. But I'm here to explain things thoroughly. Anybody who disagrees with me must prove me wrong by proving his point. So that is how that man got the name Mau Eli, and they turned it to be Elijah. You see, so Eli is an Ewe word, and Jah becomes an English word. It is God. So when you go to the originals, Mau is God, and Eli means he is alive. You understand? So we are learning gradually to know the truth, and truth will set us free. Today I'm going to continue and showing you some things that we have never known. The things that we have never even think about. There is another name that was shown to me about what we call the birth of Jacob and what you people call Esau. But I call it Esau. Because originally, when you read the scriptures, from Genesis chapter 25, the verse 25 says, there were twin boys in the womb, and the first to come out was red. Actually, we don't have a human being who is red in color. So, this color red that was mentioned, or must come into your mind that there are people's language, when you interpret in English, or when you translate into English, you will get the word red. In the Hebrews, we call every pale skinned person Koko. And they will ask what is Koko, then they will want red. And that is why they wrote red. Because if it is a white man's story, he will never put red. He will say white. If I am lying, let us all use our brains and assess these things. So that was the first white man that the black man gave birth to that was recorded. In actual fact, there might be many of them born by black people, but maybe it was not recorded. But this one was recorded, so we take it to be the first one. And I'm going to show you how the boy's name, because the Bible says, because he was hairy, he was named Esau. That is what they have made you to believe. And I challenge everybody who disagrees with me that I want you to anybody to tell me where the language Esau is being used when somebody is erring according to what the Bible is saying. I dispute that, because what the woman saw, he saw a different hair texture, because the black man's hair, according to the white man, is called woolly hair, but their own hair is straight hair. So I am showing you this. You see, this is what we call Esau, and this is exactly looks like the white man's hair. So the woman who gave birth to that boy saw this hair texture, and it has a resemblance of this. So he said, "No one needs there Esau." The hair that he carries is just like Esau. This is Esau. Look alike of this hair texture. So this is what he used in naming that boy. It is not because he is hairy. If you want to disprove me, you can. I give you the permission. But I am proving to you now, and I'm challenging you that this is what the woman used, because when you compare this Esau to the hair texture that boy carries, they look alike. You see, so that word is not Esau, because even the letter E, when it's first word, we call it E. If I am lying, the scholars must be wrong. And the word is Esau, according to the Bible. But in the original document, it's Esau. That is Esau. That is the original. Esau. And what they have written even in the Bible cannot be called Esau. Because when you say E, then it means I must begin. Then at the end of the U, we have to get L to become Esau. But here is the case, we have Esau. And why are you pronouncing it Esau? When you remove the E, can you get Saw out of the rest of the letters? No. So by pronouncing it wrongly, they will divert your attention from the truth. And this is what I am telling you, that you people must know the truth. I am only speaking this Esperanto because of my brother in the diaspora. Those who are in Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, and also in America, that are called the Black Americans. I am speaking this language purposely because of you. Otherwise, I will use my Hebrew language throughout. Because I have seen that people are good researchers, but the only problem you normally have is the language. That is why I have come here to help you to know and to understand, and to know where exactly the people are, so that you can come and learn the language to help you make your good researches. Thank you very much. I thank everybody who is listening to me, and you can also call me and find many things that you don't understand. Normally, because of my teaching on radio and everywhere, they call me OSOMAFO. OSOMAFO means messenger. So Osomafuo Kwesi Benjamin, that is my name. We will continue on another verse. As we have started, we need to complete the whole issue. Thank you very much.